You know, I've been making these videos, like I have over many years now, about some really strange neighbor situations. And the last time I made a video, I hope I put them in order and not accidentally skip one. But I was out here and somebody drove up in our driveway. I'm sitting out in my SUV in front of my home, in my driveway. My driveway, none of the houses are connected, so this is my driveway. Okay, surrounded by my yard and my house. Okay, the road's behind me. So I drove up. It was a white sports car with a man and a woman. Both had reddish hair. You know, the woman reminded me, made me think of, I'm a Bridgerton fan. And what is the name of the role she plays? One of Mrs. Whistledown. You know, she does that, what do they call it? She writes those stories, you know, gossip calling kind of thing. Not gossip, it's not a column, it's the whole thing. But anyway, they drove up behind us, and I'm looking out my rearview mirror, and the guy gives me a look like, what am I doing? This is my driveway. And then they start videoing. And I'm like, what the crap? I don't know these people. Never seen them before. Have no idea. Okay, then they leave. I'm saying, okay, great. They're finally gone. And they come back. And they park at the end of our driveway. They were parked legally. You know, this time, they were in my driveway. No, that's not legal. But this time they parked legally, but still, they can still see my house. I don't like that. Would you like that? I mean, seriously. And then I finally figured out what was going on. It was one of our neighbors is trying to sell their house. Thank goodness. They're the troublemakers. I truly believe they're trying to sell their house, and they're around our age, mine and Adam's. Okay, but still, they're just kind of troublemakers. And their kids, I think, were too. Their kids are all grown now, but out of the house. But still, they were. And still at age 41, finally left the nest. Seriously, now. I'm not judgmental. I mean, that can happen. Let's move on. But when they're judgmental against me, that's a problem. Anyway, I figured it out. What it was, probably somebody was trying to look at that house to buy it. Do I want Mrs. Whistledown? That's a neighbor. Anyway, there's more to that. That's when I remembered, I think right after that, I remember from a few years ago, and I've mentioned over these videos that I've been talking about all this stuff, that I mentioned some of the strange things that this next door neighbor, well, it's more than one neighbor. I don't have too many next door neighbors. Just this one particular family has said over time, over years, some pretty strange things. But one of the things I had forgotten, and I just remembered that day, or right before then, whenever it was then, that one time I was sitting out here, and this whole thing was about them having their window shades open to a part of their house that faces our house. That's all they see is our house and my driveway, our backyard, this kind of thing. And they may see, the top of people's roofs down the road, or something. But they do see our driveway and me sitting out here. And the husband there her husband had told, Adam, that, like, saying, your car's out there running? I was in the car doing videos like this. Okay. They're meddling, they're troublemakers, so on and so forth. Anyway, the weirdest thing that had happened in those windows is the one closest to where they can see me. There's two windows. The one that's closest, one time I looked, the way I see it is because when I get in my SUV and go to shut it or open one window or, You know, look at my rear view, side view mirror, and I'm one taught to watch your neighborhood, you know, watch your environment, what's going on when you're sitting outside by yourself. You know, it's been since I was a kid. And when I look that direction, I see those windows. Okay, and they're not always open, the shades. There's no sun comes through those windows. It's on the other side of the house. So, you know, with what they've said and what they've done, including this one, what I saw was a video camera. Kid you not, they were videoing me. I mean, the whole setup, camera, all focused right at my driveway. Seriously. Now, I could say the same thing as Adam and say, you know, he didn't say that to this, but he was saying something that happened today. We were out, and he said, or it could be nothing, because I started saying that, and now he's picked it up. I said, you know, all these things could happen, or maybe it just really didn't happen that way. Not really that it didn't happen that way, it's the way we think that what's going on might not be that. You know, the chances are, really. I mean, why would somebody have a video camera focused on our door? Our front of our house where I sit in my car. Okay, they're not seeing anything else. It's focused right here. What was all that about? And man, I was livid. But we don't say anything to them. We just don't. We don't say anything to them. We just blow it off. You know, I don't know how you say it. We're not wimps. Neither one of us. I'm Texan, hey. Yeah, as if that makes it clear. Where I grew up, it would make it very clear. No, I'm not a wimp. At the same time, they're insignificant to me. And that is the thing about it, is that they're rather insignificant. What are they going to do with that information? They're nosy. They're going to do something. When we first moved in here, it wasn't them. At least that's what we were told. Maybe they were. Maybe it was. Somebody did something that was very, very bad. But anyway, so all around, I mean, you could say, well, they must be significant because they've rented, you know how people say that whole thing, they've rented rent-free part of your brain. No, it's just something to make a video about. Okay, it's a what nerve? It's a what nerve kind of video. Can you imagine somebody being that nosy? Seriously, do they not have a life? That they have to watch me making a video? I have a really good sense of humor, to tell you the truth. I really do. And they are very insignificant. You know, it's not like they're in my daily life, that, you know, we're face to face and, you know, nothing like that. It's, you know, y'all are just strange people. Very strange, very odd people. And hopefully, maybe I wouldn't mind Mrs. Whistledown. After all, it might be an improvement. You never know. You know?